Hi guys, Mr. Fraser here from NeonMaths. This is going to be a pretty quick session on substitution. When have you heard of that word being used outside of the maths classroom? You might have heard of a substitute teacher. Or when you're watching your favourite team play football, you might see substitutions taking place if a player is injured or getting tired. Basically, what we're doing when we're substituting is we're swapping one thing for another. In this video, we're going to look at how.
When you learn, it's like cold to a train. You feel the engine when you're stressed. That's fuel for the brain. So stop your whinge. Tough times make us tougher. My mama ain't raised no sucker. I ain't scared of math struggles. I love it when I learn. So what are we doing? What do we need to do when we're asked to substitute variables into an equation? Well, it's really rather straightforward. All we need to do is swap the numbers that they've given us for the letters in the expression and then simplify it. So here we have an example of that. And in this case, we've got A, B, C, and D, where A equals 4, B equals 5, C equals 3, and D equals 6. Now we need to substitute that into A plus B plus C. So all we're going to do is instead of writing A, write 4. Instead of writing B, write 5. And instead of C, we substitute the value of 3. And we all know that 4 plus 5 plus 3 equals 12. And that's it. Simple, isn't it? Well, they do get a little bit harder. Let's have another look at another one. Same again, A, B, C, and D all equal the same thing that they did in the last question. But this time we've got to do C plus D take away A. So we're going to substitute 3 in for C. We're going to substitute 6 in for D. And we're going to substitute 4 in for A. Notice this time we're going to be doing minus 4. So the sum that we need to do this time is 3 plus 6 minus 4, which is 3 plus 6 is 9 minus 4 is 5. Okay, so how do these get more difficult? Well, what they ask you to do is to substitute in negative numbers. And what I like to do to make sure that we're very careful with that is to put brackets around those. That helps us not forget about those negative numbers. Let's have a look at this example. In this question, A equals minus 2, B equals 3, C equals minus 4, and D equals minus 6. Right, so what do we do if we're asked to do A plus B plus 2C? Okay, well, again, we're going to substitute the values that we're given in. So A is minus 2. Notice I put the brackets around it this time. We'll see why in a minute. That one wasn't so important, but in the next one, when we substitute a negative value in, having the brackets just makes it a bit easier for us to see. B we substitute for 3, C we substitute for minus 4. So do you see how I've written 2, open brackets, minus 4, close brackets? Well, that reminds me that I need to multiply those two values. It's 2 times minus 4. So we're going to simplify that. So that gives me minus 2 plus 3. 2 times minus 4 is minus 8. So minus 2 plus 3 is 1. Minus 8 is minus 7. Pretty straightforward, right? Okay, well, there's just one more question that I'd like to do. And I think this one I'm going to do on the board. So what happens if I'm asked to do 4p cubed where okay, how do we go about doing this question? Well, we're always going to show our substitution. In many maths tests, you get a mark for that. So regardless of whether you get the answer right, you would get a mark for showing your substitution. So always do that. Okay, I've written it as 4, open bracket, minus 2, close your bracket, to the power of 3. Now, always remember our order of operations. What's the first bit that we do here? Well, if we think of BIDMaths or PIMDAS or BODMaths, we do our indice, we expand, we do negative 2 cubed before multiplying it all by 4. So 4. Negative 2 times negative 2 times negative 2 gives me negative 8. And when I expand this, I'm left with, well, a positive multiplied by a negative is a negative. 4 times 8 is 32. And that's it. Straightforward. Well, when they look like that, they are, but you do need to be careful
The most common area for people to make mistakes with these questions are dealing with the positive and negative numbers and substituting them in. Now, this is a really important skill for topics that are coming up in maths. We need to be able to substitute numbers into expressions to do lots of things in maths. It's a very important skill. We need to use it to be able to draw graphs, to be able to solve using formula. But it does take practice, so just be very careful, show your working as you go through it. This is NeonMaths. Please subscribe to my videos.